Welcome to Retro Gamers TV, episode number 2. On this week, we will be talking about the Excitebike on the Nintendo Entertainment System. But before we get into that, let me just tell you a little bit more about the Retro Gamers. We are I should say, we are primarily a weekly podcast that released every Tuesday, and we come to you just full of loads of great memories, stories, and just a whole bunch of fun facts and information you might not have known about your favorite games. But we cover games from any form of the retro. You know, we talk about way back in the pen and paper RPG days. We have done episodes on Mega Man, Bionic Commando, Street Fighter. We have done a ton, and we are doing a ton more. But the best thing about it is that we do not just have two people you may not know coming on and talking about it. We try to get developers to come in and talk, and we also have you, the fans, the listeners. We have a new fan listener on every show, so you always have fresh new people to talk to, and fresh new memories and experiences. And now, you can find us at our website at theretrogamers.com, or you can also find us on iTunes, Zune, and pretty much every major podcast directory. We are on there, including the Roku boxes, the Boxy Box, as well as Google TV coming later this summer. So look for that. And now, on to the review. Excitebike was released when games were still, well, kind of new. It was released back in 1985. Think about that for a second. That was back about 25 years ago this October. 25 years ago this game was released. It's a game that did kind of shape the landscape of some of the current games on the current consoles, like Joe Danger. Now, this game, for those who might be a little bit too young to remember, it was one of the great racing games of the Nintendo series. It was pretty much a very simple game where you race either against your own time or you race against a couple of computer opponents. The tracks were also very unique for the time because it included a bunch of different obstacles rather than it trying to be like curvy roads or pretty much any turns whatsoever. It was pretty much a straight line with obstacles like jumps and all sorts of things to get in your way. But that isn't what Excitebike was known for. It isn't known really for its racing, which was a lot of fun when it first came out. But what was so exciting about it when it first came out was the ability to create your very own tracks. This was back before people have even thought about oh, I can do this. But it gave you a simple set of tools to create your own tracks, like I just said. Where you can put in your own jumps, your own obstacles, and that. But the biggest drawback from that, though, was there was no way to save your track. Because that was back when the Nintendo had no way to actually save your game directly on the console. But you could save it in Japan on the add-on tape deck. That's right. Back then in Japan, when they saved things, they used a tape deck to save the game on it. And unfortunately, it was never released in the U.S., so we were never able to save our track and to trade it with our friends. But it was still fun just to mess around and just see what you can do. And I guess another drawback of the game that doesn't really have to do with the track creator is it was a little too easy to overheat, and when you overheat it, you pull off to the side, wave in, and you get back into it. But it was a very good game overall, and a very exciting game to be able to have all those extra features and stuff that you normally did not get in a video game. It really made the replay value a lot higher. Now, there were quite a few sequels that was released on the Nintendo 64, and a few spin-offs like the Excite Truck, but they never were able to quite grasp what Excitebike tried to do when it was released in 1985. But there is a game that was currently released on the PS3 that comes pretty close. So if you want to try out Excitebike, I would not recommend picking up a Nintendo Entertainment System and playing the original, or picking up on the Virtual Console, which I think it is on it. I do not recommend that because the game does not really hold up if you did not play it growing up. But I do recommend you pick up Joe Danger, that was just released on the PSN like this past week. It is a pretty faithful, I can't say recreation, but it really captured the Excitebike mantra, and it brought it to a whole new level with a bunch of new tricks, and just it's a very good game. And the best part is you can actually save the tracks that you create and trade them with your friends. So check out Joe Danger. But we at the Retro Game was give Excitebike 3 out of 5 stars.